And we are live. Hello, everyone, and hello, and welcome to the stream. Welcome. And tonight, in this stream, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to get the space look, and I'll explain a little bit later what that means. But hello, everyone. If you're watching the stream, just let me know that you're here. Give me a little shout out in the chat. Just give me a hi, hello, or something. I can see that Schultz is already here. Hello, hello. Wave to you. Long time no see. I would love to get back to a more regular streaming schedule. That'd be great, but just things been going on, so that's all good. Hey, hello, Plexi. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. My volume is a bit low. Thank you for letting me know. What can I do here? Can I potentially do like this? Hello, hello, hello. Is this louder? Hello, hello. Hello there, Vincent Del Prat. Welcome to the stream. I hope that my volume is a little bit louder now. Just let me know if it's all good. Okay, so yeah, tonight we are gonna be talking about getting that space look, and I have some stuff to show you. We're probably gonna go on for 2 hours ish. Take a little break halfway in between. Also a little noise coming through. I don't know what to do about it. I guess I can also do this and just bring it a little bit closer to my face. Bam, 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 bam. Like that. Yeah, hello. Maybe that's a lot nicer. So yeah, that's what that is. And yeah, and I have some stuff I can show you. Put some music on, then we can't hear it. Okay, it's gone now. Okay, the space looks. I have some stuff I can show you that I've just been making a lot of stuff since for a while. Just like I have all kinds of little projects that I make. And sometimes I post and sometimes I don't. I make more stuff that I don't post than I actually post, which is kind of a bad habit, because then you kind of make something, you don't really finish it, and only take like a couple of hours to finish it up. And I have a lot of that kind of stuff that could actually be posted. But I want to show you a thing here. I just gotta find the right. I'll put on some music. I'll put it on right now. You should be able to hear it, ish. Yeah, it's just there rumbling in the underground. Let me just find the thing. Here. Freighter, that's what it's called. Then we're gonna switch over the thing. Don't delete the stream. I never delete the streams. The stream's always there. Just gonna find OBS here. Then we're gonna say scene 1. There we go. Okay. And here we have this thing. There's a little bit of sound on this one. Whoa, that's loud. Where did the thing go? Like this. This here. Let's just make sure that it loops. How do I do that? I don't know. Yeah, so this kind of thing here. So I kind of want to show you what I did to make was this kind of thing here. So in this shot, I made the planet that you see behind it. I made the ship. I made all this greeble stuff, and I kind of composited it and did all the stuff. And it's just a little shot like this that kind of shows this massive kind of space freighter moving through the atmosphere. And there's actually a lot of stuff that kind of goes into making a thing like that. And I just thought it'd be fun to go through like how to make a thing like that. I can show you the original file, but I actually kind of want to just take it step by step, because it's not that hard. But there's some key techniques here and there, which I thought that'd be fun to go through. So let's do that. Unless everyone is like, fuck that, I don't want to see that. So this is not a space thing. This is a different thing I've been working on also. This is like a little tank. Look at this little tank. And I actually made this tank because it came from a discussion with a friend about tanks and stuff. Oh, look at this one, the way it like moves down. So the idea here is that there's a little arm in here that kind of rotates the bullet around, like brings it up to very high speeds, and then it launches it out of the cannon here. So it's kind of like just goes around, and then it flings it out when it gets to high speed. And then there was all these issues with like, okay, how does the thing tilt if it has that, because it can't rotate that cannon because then it doesn't align with the swing arm, blah 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 blah. So that was fun. But let's do the space stuff, okay? Maybe we'll look at the tank some other day. So I'm just gonna save this file, which this is for you, Schultz. I've been working on this tank since 9 o'clock this morning, probably. I haven't saved a single time. I feel so bad. Oh yeah, just so everyone knows, like I have a habit of not saving. I only save when Schultz is here. Let's see here. Let's go to Horizon. We'll call this one tank. There we go. See, I saved. There we go. We'll just close this file here. Okay, so there's kind of 3 components to making a space shot, like the one we looked at. And the first component is kind of having some kind of planetary body, like a planet or like a moon or some asteroids or something like that. And I want to show you how to make like a planet, basically. And I know I have a planet tutorial on my channel, but that's quite old, and there's definitely some new tricks that I can show that are really nice. And that's the first component, having some kind of celestial body like that. Then having a ship with some kind of greebles or whatever. And I want to show you a technique for greebles. There's a couple of different ways of doing greebles, but I want to show you the technique I'm experimenting with right now. And then the third thing is the compositing. And there's a few things there to do in the compositing. And hopefully we can go through everything. So I'm just going to start off by deleting camera, deleting everything, just keep the light here, and then I'm going to make a new sphere. And I think what is nice here is to make an icosphere. The reason I like making an icosphere is that an icosphere is uniform. Like it has uniform mesh versus a UV sphere. It has bigger faces along the side. Icosphere is more even, so when you bring it to a higher resolution, you can technically have I think higher res. You can get a more smooth ball with less density, which is kind of what I want. And I think this is pretty good. Like I think this is good enough for what I want. So I have a ball here, set shade smooth, and then we're just gonna make a really simple planet. And I think right here, right now, this first step here is not that important because that's kind of just whatever you want to do. And you could use a texture, you could use some noise. You know, you're just making the surface of the planet. The one thing to keep in mind though is that I think generally to make an interesting planet, let's say an Earth-like planet or something along those lines, you kind of you want some kind of separation or whatever, but the thing that's probably going to be the most significant is having a separation in roughness. And the separation in roughness, it's going to be something like, okay, some places they are like rough like this, and some places they are like that. So you see that difference there? So that's kind of suggestive of like having an ocean or some kind of surface like that, because that's the way the Earth looks when you look at like close-ups of the, like not close-ups, but like space shots of Earth. Then you get that like ocean that's kind of shining. See if I can find a picture of it. Earth. Come on. My Chrome is just being really slow. You know, my computer did this thing where it installed Windows 11 without my permission, just on its own. I was so furious, and ever since the computer's just been slower. Yeah, so you see it here. You see kind of this the difference between the surface, like the ground, right, and then the ocean. Like suddenly there's a drastic shift in shininess, and that's the kind of thing I would be more concerned with getting that right than getting all the hills and the actual curvature of the stuff, because this is stuff that's going to make it feel like it's being shot from far away, because that's the stuff we actually see. Like that's the biggest difference. And you can also kind of see it here a little bit, like that difference in material. So that's one thing to just keep in mind. And we could do something simple here. You know, we could just put in some simple colors like that, and then do some kind of darker ocean thing. Bring up the contrast maybe. Give some more detail. You know, and then you kind of have something, you know, Earth-like or whatever, or something that has the qualities that maybe you're. I actually want to switch it around here. There we go. So we're getting the oceans there being more of that shiny quality, and you can have a little bit of things like that, right? And you can decide how much you want to do one way or the other. Okay, so this might not look like a great planet or whatever, but you would kind of work on this and make it nice. I just think getting that separation, that's just really important. But to make things a little bit easier, I'm just going to use some kind of texture. And I think if you get some kind of satellite image, then you could just get something. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find some kind of. Like you could get a picture like this, for example, and use that as a base or something like that, or like these kind of things here. Are these high quality? Yeah, like this one of the UK or something like that. This one's also pretty cool. What do we call this one? Satellite images. I'm gonna go to pixels. And just say satellite images, see what we get. I kind of want stuff like that. Satellite Earth. If somebody has some kind of good suggestion for this kind of stuff, then I hope you do a part that shows how you do the post-processing, especially to make the starship look so good. Yeah, that's what I want to show. I have been kind of thinking about maybe getting back to doing some really short tutorials, like doing 2-minute tutorials, which I haven't done before, but I think 2 minutes could kind of be an interesting format to try out. Yeah, I'm just looking. I was kind of imagining that finding a texture would be faster than doing something in Blender, but let's just go back to Google Images here. There was one that was kind of high quality. This one was pretty high quality. I think I'm gonna just get that one. Open image, new tab. I'm just gonna use this one, and that's totally fine. That's just the way my planet is gonna look. I'll save it here. So good. And I'll drag it into my scene. And then you can see it wraps around like this. And to get it to wrap around a little bit nicer, I am gonna do I'm gonna Control T, set this to object, and then I'm gonna set this to box. And then you can see it kind of puts itself like this. And then I'm gonna set it to blend. Then it kind of blends these things together a little bit here. Oh. Is it, doesn't really do it that nicely around the things there. That's kind of interesting. Why not? Creates a crease there. I guess I could create a value thing here. No? I would imagine that it would actually do that. That it wouldn't create a line there. That's kind of unusual. I could also try doing a sphere projection. Again, this step is just not really the important bit. You just make something that kind of works for you. Okay, here we go. Here we're getting something that's slightly interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Getting some kind of texture there. That's good enough. Then I'll mix that with another version of itself here. So I'll take this and this and this and just go also UV. And then I'll change the scale here to be like that. Change the rotation here to be something different. Maybe a little bit more like, yeah, like that. And then I'll take this noise texture here, bring up a ramp, plug that in, get that there, set this to blank, make a mix, set it to color. Yeah, I can clamp it, it's fine. Then I'm combining these two guys here, using that as a mix. Then I can kind of just get a little bit of unevenness, and then it'll hide the seams-ish. Let's see what it will do. Okay, where is the thing going weird here? Is it this one where it's... That is quite strange. I guess it's because the... What about a cube projection and then... Okay, then you know what? Let's go back to the object one. And then just set this to box. And then we're decreasing the size on this one. Like that. Like that, like that. And then we are saying that the size should be different here. And different here. And then some kind of rotation there. I think I want a little bigger size like that. Yeah. It's a lot bigger there. Like that. And then a little bit harsher transitions. I was kind of certain that we'll get it. Maybe that's why we should use the UV sphere, is to not get these lines like this. You know what? Let's just do that. Because usually I make these planets just procedurally. I just don't want to take the time right now because it's not super important to do that. Okay, there I have the sphere. And then, what is this stuff set to? Just, if I just set to flat, what do we get? No, it's set to object right now. If I set to UV and UV, maybe this is a bit more. No, this is annoying. Just want to figure out what's the right thing to do. Object. I would kind of suspect these lines to disappear, and I think that's kind of what's cube with subsurface. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I just want a sphere. Why would it not? Because there it's kind of hiding it nicely, and then that's good. Then I'm doing that. Blend, yeah, that's good. Blend. Blend the whole thing. Yeah, that's not what I want. I just want a little bit of blend. Like that. Like that. Well, I was really expecting this to just work a lot better. Okay. What's the right way to solve this? Okay, I'm gonna be cheeky here and just go a few steps back. Because kind of what we had was kind of working, except for the middle line on the other guy. So the middle line is not really, and these lines are not working. Okay, you know what? This is just not gonna do the thing that I wanted to do. So we'll just do it procedurally. It's okay too. We'll create some super noise very quick. It's gonna be a lot better. Okay, let's create some super noise. We take a noise, vector math. We mix in there. We set this to multiple. No. Oh, I guess we want a mix actually. A mix vector. There we go. There. Texture coordinate. Coordinate. There we go. And we just say generated is fine. Then we have this thing here. I'm gonna plug that into the vector of the thing, and then we're gonna get this noise that looks like this. Then if we start inducing some detail, you're gonna start getting these kind of more kind of organic patterns here and there. And once we have that over here, it looks like this and like that. Then we're getting some variety. And here we can put in some color. Put in some color like this. Just a little bit of variation. And you can put in green, like a brighter color along the coastline if you really want to. Then here I think I'm gonna get like that. Something like that, and then you kind of have some kind of planetary body or whatever. I'm gonna make some darker oceans like that. And here I think I'm gonna let this be more shiny. Try to clamp those things in, create a little bit of variation like that. And then we have that. I think it could be a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a little bit faster. And then I'll just use the color here. No, I'll take, let's see, what do we actually want? I'll take this one, plug the, oh, it's because it's color going into that thing. That makes more sense. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Great. And then we'll take this one and delete that. Do this black here so that the ocean becomes kind of black. And the rest they get to just be height, and that gets to go into bump. Yeah, bump. Oh, displacement actually. Displacement and height. And then it goes into that thing. Then we have that there. But then we set the, oh, not the mid level, the scale. So that's to quite a low level. Like you do not want a lot going on here. You want very little. Like this is almost too much. But it's okay. Like it's okay. But you don't actually want, it's quite a lot here. Could actually take the specular and just take that down a notch. And there we kind of have that like variation here and there. You know, you're seeing it shine and you have some contrast. I think I would maybe actually bring this a little bit further back like that. Yeah, so you're kind of seeing the land shine there versus the ocean. And that's the effect I would say that is that is the stuff that is like you kind of want. Okay, cool. And you could do all kinds of stuff. You could make poles and you could make whatever. Now we have the planet. Let's move on to the actually interesting bits. So we're gonna take the sphere here and then we're gonna duplicate it, boop. And then we're gonna remove the material. And what we're gonna make now is we're gonna make the atmosphere. And the atmosphere here, we're gonna make a new material called Atmos. Gonna give this thing just a planet there, Atmos. And this is interesting. Here we're gonna remove this and we're gonna create a volume scatter node. And we're gonna create a volume absorption node. I'm gonna create a mix shader, no, an add shader. let's try the add shader and see how that actually behaves. So here we go, and that should go into volume. So yeah, so I just scaled the volume a little bit above the earth. The goal here is for this thing to kind of fade off into the distance. Right now it has a very harsh cutoff. We want it to fade off, and we want to have the right color. To actually look at this properly, I would suggest working with a dark background. So you're kind of emulating space. We got that thing there, that's good. And then I'm going to set the volume scatter thing to be like a more bluish thing. Maybe something like that for this planet. And then I'm going to set this thing to be like a reddish thing. And the reddish thing is something you're going to feel, maybe even like an orangey. And you can see the density here is like affecting the fact that when you're seeing it from a different angle, you're starting to get this kind of like sunrise, sunset kind of feel. But it still looks somewhat normal from here. It's a very cheap and fast way to get that kind of sunrise effect, which is what we're kind of after right now. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna leave these there for now. So you're kind of getting a little bit of that reddish hue down here, but still maintaining some normal stuff up there. Okay, and already it's beginning to look a little bit like a planet, you know, in the far away. Okay, let's work on the atmosphere itself. So the trick here is that you kind of need to work with some kind of gradient. And the way I like to do it is that I like to take a gradient texture and then set this to spherical. And you see now it's a little bit weird here. And to actually better demonstrate this, I'm gonna create a little disk, a circle like this here. I'm gonna rotate along this axis here, fill it out, and then I'm gonna I'm not gonna isolate it. I'm just gonna hide these other two guys. I'm gonna take this guy and set it the Atmos material on this one. So now we're just getting a disk because it's a bit easier to see what's happening. I'm going to set this to object. That puts this gradient texture in the middle of the disk here, and that would be the same on the sphere. It would look the same. It's just fully volumetric and in all directions. So you can see now if we start taking the ramp thing here, we can start doing this kind of stuff to it. But what I actually want to do is that I want all of this in here. I don't really care about that. I care about anything that is right there. Right, that's the stuff I care about. And I also don't really want to have my have a lot of scales, like have scale happening on this disk here. I kind of just want that to be applied, but you can see when I apply it, the radius of this thing kind of falls back. It falls back here, right? So what do we need to do? Well, there's a couple of ways of dealing with this thing. You could scale this thing, right? You could say object, and then multiply, or you can go here, right, and say value, and then you can multiply this, and then it's getting bigger and smaller, right? That's kind of what we're looking for, so that it's not really dependent on the scale of this thing. So we can just adjust it in the shader. Okay, so now we kind of have this set up, and that's good. Then I'm gonna take and do the power of this thing here. So when you do the power of the thing, you're kind of sharpening or softening the fall off of this thing here. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the opposite way. And then I should be getting an effect here that I want. See here. Okay. So then I should be able to get this fall off here. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add something to this. I'm gonna add something. So we have that there. And I wanna just see where I'm at here. So what am I doing wrong right now? I just need to remember what. So I want to add or I want to multiply? Maybe I want to multiply, and then just want to remember how exactly the feeling I want here. So I want this thing here. I want that thing there. Let me just play around here. And yeah, and then I want to bring that out, right? That's what I want to bring that out. Yes, exactly. Then I should be able to mess with the fall off like this. So I'm thinking about the fall off in reverse right now, which is not always ideal, but that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. And then I can multiply this by -1. Shouldn't I be able to? Or do I need to just invert it? Or map range it, There we go. And then set this to 1, set this to 0. Then, yeah, then here now I can kind of control the fall off a little bit more. And then I can also adjust the overall intensity, and then I can adjust the fall off right there. And that's kind of what I want, I think. I could adjust the size over here, hopefully. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay. So then I kind of have what I need for, maybe I don't need this multiplier right now, but I think actually we'll take this and just put this in here. We'll take this multiplier and just put it there. Then I can bring back my planet and the atmosphere. And the atmosphere, we just need to put that into the volume, cut the surface. And then here we can kind of zoom close to what's going on over here. And then I'm going to put this density into this thing. I'm going to increase the density by like 30. And then let's see here what we're actually getting. Okay, let's just hide the planet for now. Okay, so we have it there. That's kind of our volume ball. So we're just increasing the size here. I'll give it a little bit of breathing room. There, if I set it to roughly there or something, then I can start increasing or decreasing like the fall off. And I can increase the density. And the power here is very important because that's the thing that's going to give us the actual nice fall off. So here we're starting to get a little bit of it. We can increase it or we can decrease it. I think let's just set this to 30 or something. Bring it a little bit down, like there. Then I just want to feel where it's starting to give a good fall off. Could probably use to already multiply this. Maybe that's what we should do. Yeah, then we can just have a little bit more fine control. Doesn't look too bad, but I just want it a little bit smaller, like that. Something along those lines. Get the same density for both. There we go. And that should give us some somewhat nice results here and there. I think this one could become a little more blue. Could probably improve this a little bit, but this one feels pretty good. I think it will reduce the yellowness a little bit here, or the redness. Yeah, this kind of works pretty nicely. We're getting a little bit of that sunset effect still. We have a nice rim there on the planet. That feels pretty good. You know, it's not Earth, it's some alien planet, so that's all good. Okay, cool. So that's the that's kind of the atmosphere done. I usually do something a little bit more complicated than that, but this is basically the stuff. Like, you're messing with like how far out your gradient texture goes. You can also do it in a different way. And then you're setting up so that your little boundary here with a power node, so you're getting a different kind of fall off. You can also do it with a ramp node or something like that. But I think actually just using a power node, then you can get the right kind of fall off. You can probably get something a little bit nicer than this if you mess with it, but I think the principle is kind of where it's at here. Let's see if I increase the density. It's like 100. It also feels pretty nice. I wonder if I do 200. Feels pretty nice. Okay, cool. The next thing is that we're going to produce some clouds. And for that, we are going to duplicate another one here. Icosphere, we call this one planet. Like that, like that. We're going to duplicate Atmos. We're going to call it clouds. And we're going to duplicate the thing here, we'll call it clouds. And this thing is a little bit different, because what we need to do is that we need to scale it. This is here. We need to scale it so that it's a little bit smaller, and give it a solidify modifier. Also apply the scale here. So this thing here now, it kind of rests here. We're just going to hide the Atmos. Let's see here. We're doing that. And then let's see which way is the thing going. So we need it to go the other way. There we go. So it's just, so now what's happening is that because this thing is solidify, it has this little thickness, like this little thickness in the ball. It's not a big ball, it's like a shell. And when you then create a volume inside of that shell, that can kind of be like our cloud layer. So everything in there will just be clouds. And here, where's our planet? Planet's there, so this one needs to be a little bit bigger. There. Yeah, so it's kind of resting above the thing there. Okay, nice. And we have our clouds thing here. And clouds are a little bit more simple, because what they actually just involve is having a lot of noise going into a volume. Like that. And then let's look at it from here. And that goes into density. We have a math node. The math node says multiply. I'll just set that to 100 for now. And create a ramp. Whoop. I'm just going to do this. Oh, this could be 100, I think. I want to make it pretty dense. So here we're beginning to have our clouds. Like that here. And I'm just going to scale them up a little bit. And these clouds are not going to look great from afar. You can make them work in certain shots, but they will look decent, like like kind of up close. Is it not letting me multiply by? There we go. This is just for me to be able to see them there, add some detail, create some roughness, and yeah, that's decent enough. Gonna create a little bit of variance. Some areas where they are more soft, things like that. And what I'm also in particular looking for is if I'm getting good shadows on the planet. I like it to be a little bit overdone, and I can use my solidify modifier here to kind of just adjust the overall thing here. Okay, these clouds are probably a little bit too big and high up. That's okay, as long as I'm getting good shadows here. Okay, I'm getting some shadows here and there. That's good. That's good. And then what I like to do is that I take all this stuff here, and then I multiply it with 2 Voronoi. And again, this is the simple variant, but you know, a Voronoi looks like this. And if you do, instead of F1, you can do not distance to edge, but is it F2? Oh right, no, you just do F1, sorry. And then you just flip them like this. Then you're kind of getting this like pillowy effect. And we're gonna set this one to 150. That's probably a little bit too low. Let's set it to 200. No, actually 500. 500. And this one will be set to 1500. And I'll have the same thing like that. Boop. And so you can see this one's very small. And then we multiply those two things together like that. Then you're kind of getting this like, it's going to give you a slight cloud structure effect here and there, like that. And I just like overdoing it a little bit, like that. And I think also I just increase the thing here so that it's not as many black holes. It's a little bit more reasonable, like that. Then we multiply that into this thing here, and then you're gonna get this kind of effect. I think maybe I'll also just give it like that kind of a thing. And I think this one can probably have a lot more detail. Like it's not gonna look amazing from this thing here, and you can give it a tiny bit of distortion if you really want to. Then you're gonna get these things that look a little bit swirly. A little bit swirly. But not too much, because then it starts looking wrong. Something like that, something like that. And as a volume, it's gonna look like this here. You can see even when we're pumping up, we're getting this like slight kind of pillowy effect everywhere, like blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly the feature we want. Let's see, that could be a little bit too like that there, like that, cool. And our sun is set to what? I'll set this to 25 or something. And then I'll turn on the atmosphere again. And then you can see we're getting these really nice warm clouds when the sunrise hits. And that's kind of where all the effort goes in, is that like suddenly you're getting this like really nice clouds like this, and we're starting to get something that looks not real, but you know, real-ish. It feels slightly believable, especially when we're seeing that shine there in the thing. You're seeing the clouds mixed with the oceans. It's like it's becoming, it has enough of the features where it's acceptable. Okay, let's see here. I think what we can do is that we can reduce the height of the clouds maybe slightly. So I think I'll set this to 3. I'm still looking for good shadows, and then I can reduce. I always exaggerate the atmosphere a little bit. Technically, it's not that much. But this is pretty nice, and then we can rotate the clouds around the surface here. And we can figure out how strong our sun should be. Maybe 25 is a little bit too strong. And remember to save for Schultz. Make a new one here called planets, which maybe I already have. Planets. There we go. Let's call it one planet 2. Okay. Then we have a nice planet. So that's kind of the first step done of the 3 things we wanted to do. Wow. And I think it's just like those guiding principles of like do the roughness, like the roughness contrast. Do the atmosphere with the correct nice like fall off using power is really good. And then do the clouds like you don't have to make it that complicated, but then if you add the little like Voronoi pillowing effect, then you're gonna get the stuff that looks cloud-like from a distance. That's quite nice. And look at the nice little orangey bits. I'm just gonna take the planet here and just adjust the colors a little bit because they're a little bit too bright. How could I maybe what if I brought this up, brought this down? No. It's just very bright. It's just very bright. But it's good enough. It's good enough for what we're doing. We can definitely get some space shots with this kind of a thing here. Okay, so that was the first bit. Save, and then what I'm gonna do just to keep everything clean is I'm gonna just go and make a little new scene here. New scene, I'm gonna call this one the ship scene. Okay, so over here, we now wanna make a little spaceship. And I've made a lot of spaceships. And there's a lot of ways of doing it, but I kind of want to show you this new greeble thing. So the goal right now is to make something look kind of big, and maybe actually let's do a space station. Let's do a space station. We'll do a space station. So I think I want to do something simple, like a cylinder. It's going to be pretty it's not going to be that complicated. It's going to be something like this, and then maybe like this, something like this here. Maybe it's like a space elevator kind of thing, you know, something along those lines, right? Just simple thing, something like that. Shade auto smooth, and we can correct it. But what I want to show is what you can get with just having a little bit of greeble, and that's what we're gonna look at. Just having a little bit of greeble to see what that looks like. So yeah, so imagine that this thing is kind of like the planet is down here or something, and then this thing is kind of sitting on it. That's the kind of shot I'm thinking we can make. So what I want to do is that I want to basically greeblify this thing. And the way we're going to do that is that we're going to make our own little greeble texture. And the way you make the greeble texture is, I mean, there's many ways. You can download a greeble texture, you could do all kinds of stuff. But I want to make a greeble texture. And then we're going to use displacement to get the greeble onto the thing. Because yes, you could use geonodes or all kinds of stuff to scatter the stuff, but to get kind of like a consistent look, you can make a greeble texture. And there's a really nice technique to actually do it. So we're gonna set up a little camera right there. We're gonna reset everything here. We're gonna set it to orthographic there. We're gonna set the resolution to 4K, like that. I'm just gonna set it like that, that's cool. Then we're gonna make a plane. I'm gonna look through the camera, and we're just gonna line up these two things here. So we're gonna go to the camera, there. Then we're gonna line up there. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just something like this. Cool, so now those two things are aligned. And that actually means that the scale is just 2. I guess that makes sense, because it's 2 meters there. Nice, consistency, awesome. Okay, then we are gonna scatter some greebles. And we're actually gonna do that by hand. I'm gonna go into my asset manager here, where it's just a big mess right now because I haven't cleaned it up. I'm gonna search greeble, and I have some greeble patches here and there that I've made in the past. And you can make your own, you can do whatever you want. But I have some here that I've just kind of made over time, like this, you know. These are really simple, there's nothing crazy with them. They are textured, and they kind of have some little bit of texture, but they're really not that complicated. Okay, I'm gonna scale these ones down, and then I'm gonna start arranging them down here. I'm gonna do something like this here, put this one there, put this maybe there. I'm gonna create some kind of order, like some kind of system to it. Like maybe there's a general direction to the things. Okay, like that. And I'm just gonna do some kind of, maybe like this here. Like that, like that, like that. I'm not too concerned with the texture right now. I'm just kind of looking at what's happening here. Maybe like that. And I'll take all these guys here and just put them down like this. Like that. Cool. And maybe this one extends out further. Maybe this one also extends further out like that. Then this one could be here, lining up with that. Maybe this one could be. There's a little bit of greeble thing there. And then I also have something called plating, which I made, which is just like a little bit of uneven kind of undersurface here. Let's see, what can we get from this here? We can get this. And you know, it's essentially just, you know, you're just kit bashing some stuff together. But I think keeping a direction is can usually be quite good. Okay, I'm beginning to have something, but the problem is that we also want to make this thing tileable, because that's how this whole thing is going to work, is that we want to make it tileable. So how do we make it tileable? I think a really nice way to do it is to use geonodes. So I'm going to press M here and put all this into a new collection. I'm just going to call it greeble, like that. Okay. Then that is good. That's in the collection. Then I'm going to create a new plane here. Boop. And that's not going to be in the greeble thing here. That's just going to call greeble array. Then I'm going to go to G, there, modifier, geometry nodes. There we go. Create a new one. Greeble array. Boink. Then in here, I'm going to drag the collection, the greeble collection in. And all we really want to do is just instance this entire collection there, 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 there. So we're kind of getting all this symmetry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing here and just set the position of it. And I'm gonna look at it here, and then you can see if I just set an offset like this, then it gets pushed to the thing. I'm gonna push it to as the side here. I've been ignoring the chat for a little bit, so just to try to get up here. Let's see here. I just want to see if any of Conrad Freyer is laughing. Okay, that's great. But also welcome to the stream. Welcome. Shadon, hello. Welcome to the stream. I forgot the music. Nobody said anything about the music. Okay, the music. We need the music back. Let's see here. We just need that music. Where's the music? There, music, and there we go. Okay. Dakota's here. Hello, Dakota. Welcome to the thing. Pyramid schemes. It reminds me of one of your first tutorials, the planet one. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Vincent writes, damn, that's way better than the way the procedural, much more control. Right. I gotta make something very similar to this, but I have to shadow it, which will be a fun challenge. Remember to save. Damn, this was super helpful. Is the soft rule with kits as long as you can recognize it right away, it's okay? You can't recognize it right away, it's okay. With kits, as long as you can't recognize, I don't know. I think I just make my own kits, and then that's how it goes. I like that wallpaper. Favorite Black Horizon faction. Oh, the one I have on my background. Here, this thing. That is true. Okay. But yeah, let's get back to this thing here. So what I'm gonna do is turn down the music slightly, because it's becoming slightly distracting to me. Then that's set here, and then I can just duplicate this thing and do the opposite. Wink. And set this to a -2. And then I'll join geometry. Like there, and there. And now this whole thing here, if we take another set position, we can take this thing and say these things together. Then I can adjust this here. So you can see I just keep, doing the same thing, taking these things, duplicating them, then duplicating them another time, bringing that to 2, there. And then I'm gonna do that one more time, like this. So that's to -2, and then whoop, and then we have all 3. And the cool thing is that now I can just adjust this one, and then everything gets adjusted. And I just need to make sure that this thing is actually set to the output. There we go. And then what I do is I take the greeble arrayer, go up here, say selection, deselect the thing, and now I can select any of the stuff here and everything moves along with it. And the nice thing now is that now you're getting the actual overlaps. So in case you were doing something where you would need some kind of overlap or something, you can get that without issue. So it's quite nice in that way. Like that. Maybe I'll increase this one here, and maybe I'll take this pipe and just make it longer. That seems nice. And then I got a little greeble patch here, and it's very repetitive right here, and that's totally fine. But now we can essentially make a little greeble patch. I just want to show you how I made them, and then you could make your own. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna look at how we're gonna render these. So if we look at the render here, then it's all black, and that's actually fine, because what we need is actually just the color and the depth, because we want to use this to actually display some stuff. So let's just look at the color here. We don't really care about there being any light in the scene because we just want this color information. If you have color on your greeble, you can do it however you want, but I happen to have color on my greeble. And what I'll do here is I'll just match this material here, and then I'll go to S, and I don't know if they all have the same color, but let's try. Yeah, they kind of do. So I'm going to bring down the saturation and bring up the value a little bit. And then these guys, they get to have the same material as that. And that's okay, there's a little bit of black stuff going on. I just want it gray. That's what I want. And I have a nice little greeble patch here. Then what I want to do is that I want to set up a mist pass. And the mist pass is what we're going to use to do the actual depth information. You could use the sea depth, but the mist pass is actually a lot nicer because you can turn it on, go to world, and we need a world. Okay, I guess we'll create a world. That's fine. Mist pass, and then you can set these distances, and then you can see them through here. Mist, you can see them through here. You can set the distances, then you can kind of match what you need to match in regards to the different scenes and stuff like that. In order to see this more clearly, what I do is I select the camera, I go to the camera settings, I turn on mist. Then what you get is you get these two sensors. You get this sensor here, and you get this sensor here. And that kind of tells you how far the camera is seeing the depth. Then you go back to world, and then you can adjust those things. You can see here, getting that right there. I'm just going to put it right there. And then the other one, I'm going to put closer to to the thing. So it's going to be something like that. And that thing is going to be something like that. There we go. And then you can see that's the result of our depth pass, right? With obviously with the black being the closest to us and the white being the furthest away from it. We want to invert that once we start using it as a displacement map, but that shouldn't be an issue. So we're getting that, and we're getting the diffuse color. And those are kind of the things we want. We probably also want the specular color. And then we're going to mix that in. And this technique right here is not going to be perfect, but it's definitely going to be good enough. And I think that's kind of just the point. So I'm going to go into the render layers. I'm going to turn on mist. That's there. I'm going to turn on color for specular. Oh, it's set to cycles. No, it's set to EV. I need to set it to cycles. Then we're getting what we want. Then mist, glossy color should be on, and diffuse color should be on. You could also do an Eevee, but different, of course. Oh, it's just doing that here. Diffuse color. So that's kind of what you're getting there. And here you can see I have a little bit of, actually quite a lot of ambient texture on. Maybe it's nicer to just do in. See what the mist looks like here. It looks pretty similar to the Eevee one. We could just do it in Eevee. I don't think it makes a big difference. Specular color. Yeah, let's just do it in Eevee. That's fine. You could also do it in cycles. The setup is the same. Like this. Cool. And they've been turned on. Color and specular. Then I'm going to go to compositing. I'm going to say use nodes. Then here, we're just going to do a little test render. So I'm just going to press F12. Hi Haley, welcome to the stream. Should have gotten some water. I do have some things here like this. Okay, and it did a render, and this is the composite result. But actually, what we're interested in is the view layer here, and it's the mist, the diffuse color, and the specular gloss color. Those are the things we're actually interested in. And now we should be able to see them in here. Control Shift V, view, whoop, like that. And we got the mist, diffuse color, and gloss color. I'm gonna get the file, it's called the output node. Gonna set this to a path. Gonna set this to something, let's make a new one called greeble. Greeble, like that. There. I'll call this one we'll just set it here, that's fine. And then we got our file output. And this one we're gonna add some inputs. And here we're gonna say color and depth. Or actually displace, let's just call it displace. I'm gonna delete that one. Don't need that one. There we go, just these two, that's fine. And for displacement, we're gonna take the mist pass here and we're gonna map range it. And we're just gonna invert the colors. So what we're getting out is this instead. And it doesn't look super impressive, but you could adjust it or do a little bit nicer if you feel like that's necessary or something. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. There's lots of ways of just making it have a bit more depth if that's what's really important. But this should be fine. It should give you enough of the, it has the data, and then you just see how you use it. Put that into displace. So that's taken care of. And then the color, we want this one. And then I'm just gonna add the diffuse color onto it. The gloss color here. The gloss color is a little bit too dark for my taste. And it's not about doing anything the correct way here. It's just you're doing something where it looks good. I think that's just oh, it looks good to you. I think that's the way to kind of think about it. Maybe curves on this one here. And I just want to kind of punch in the blacks a little bit. So we're not adding too much there. I kind of want the higher values. That's kind of what I'm interested in. Not these like lower values. Like that maybe. Then I'm adding that on top. Yeah, that gives a little bit of roundness. Not super essential, you could totally just do it without. Again, it's just for your own sanity. And then that's pretty much set up. That means that if we press render now, F12, then our thing should appear in our, where is, no, not desktop, where are we going here? Horizon, there we go. And then greeble. Yeah, so we're pressing render, and then when it renders these things out, it just automatically goes into the folder. So we could come back over here now, and then we can say, okay, we rendered one out now. Then you can just adjust these. You know, you can make a new one. So I'll duplicate this one, duplicate collection. I'll select all these guys here. Alright, so I duplicate this one to save it for later. Then I have this one. I can adjust the main one here. I'll take all of these and just like adjust the thing. Maybe create some random rotation here, like that. Sounds good. Scatter some things about. Maybe do something like that. Create a little array thing. Then we got that going on. Creating something with a bit more small detail. You know, we're getting that kind of thing. Ah, maybe it's a little bit too much. Just make it a bit smaller. Bring this up in size. Then we have some kind of greeble thing there. And the cool thing with this greeble is that it's a bit more custom than just having some kind of random texture, which I find awesome. That there. Let's try this. Bring it in here. And then we're getting that going on there. That's pretty good. And then you can just say compositing, go here, call it greep, like that. Press F12. And then it's gonna render. It's rendering right now. And then it has rendered it. And it should be in the folder. In a subfolder right there. We got our new greeble thing. And we got this other thing. Cool. So that's pretty much how you would make these greeble patches, greeble textures. And the cool thing now is that now we can use those greeble patches to actually decorate our space station over here. And that's what we want to do. So I'm actually going to take this space station and I'm gonna make I'm gonna duplicate the scene here, new, and I'm gonna call this one station. I'm gonna call this other one greeble. Station here, there. Okay, but let's just take a 5-minute break, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to actually use the greeble that we just made to make this thing look awesome. So I'm gonna do a little break here and see you all in 5 minutes. Get some coffee, get some water, go to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Let's get back into it. I think I was going a little bit fast there with everything, which is okay. It's fine. It was just I was going at ultra speed because I kind of wanted to get through all of it, but and also once you just get into the zone, then it's like then that's what happens. So that's good. And oh, that's all fine. Oh, now I'm just getting a little bit of a stretch. Oh, actually, I just had my 30th birthday. What is that now? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Three-ish weeks ago. And just recently I got a present from a friend. And I had no idea that this was coming. I kind of want to show you what the present is, because it's fucking awesome. It's right over here. Okay, are you ready? 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 Okay, here it comes. It's a sword. And it's not just any sword, it's like an actual fighting sword. So it's blunt, but it's made for actually fighting. So it's like 2 kilos. It's obviously a two-hander. And I do not have any kind of, I don't do any kind of HEMA, historical martial arts, or any kind of sword training. But my friend was just like, I think you should have a sword. And I was like, okay, cool. And I have a sword. And I was like, that's just an awesome gift, because I was just never buy that for myself. I would love to have a sword, and if I just had infinite money, then yes, I would have bought lots of swords. And it's not like a thing I talk about a lot, about swords, so that it just kind of came out of the blue, but I'm absolutely in love with it. And you can see it's a little bit hard to show on the stream, of course, but there you have it. That's fucking awesome. That is super awesome. And yeah. And so I have this sword now. So that's great. And all I'm doing is just like stand in the living room and just like swing around the sword and try to do moves, which I think is to great amusement for the neighbors. So yeah, so I have a sword. Really awesome for reference and that kind of stuff. So that's absolutely awesome. I'm very grateful to the friend who shall remain nameless for his own protection, Paul. No, my friend Paul, who's also been on the stream a couple of times making no command with me. He gave me the sword, and I was just absolutely astounded. So that was amazing. I think the sword is made in Ukraine, and it's a nice ass quality. Everything is super tight and fit, so that is awesome. Okay, let's get back into the fun. So before the break, we managed to make 2 patches of greeble, and you could make many more. We're just going to use 2 patches for now and try to see what we can get rolling with just those things. I would obviously take a lot more time to make all this stuff nice, but let's see what we can do. So here comes the technique. We're gonna make a new material on this thing here. We're just gonna call this station. I'm gonna go over here, and then we're gonna open the greebles things here, and then I'm gonna pull in this guy and this guy. I'm gonna set it to, I'm just gonna set it to Eevee. But we actually need cycles. And we're gonna set it to GPU. Yeah, we're gonna set it to GPU. Okay, here we go. So if we look at this texture here, we're not seeing anything. Why are we not seeing anything? Why are we not seeing anything? Is that because there's no UVs? Oh, it's because we're looking at the mist pass. Just make sure you go back to combined. So now we're starting to see the texture there. So I'm gonna take this texture, make sure it's set to UV. UV is what we want to use. Set the value here, and then I can adjust the size of the texture here. But what I actually want is I want like an even spacing, And we have a cylinder. Usually I would just do a cube project, but because we have a cylinder, I will need to do something a little bit different. At first, I'm just gonna do a cube project, just to kind of align everything. Scale everything up a little bit, like that. And then I'm gonna take these guys here, there. And then there's actually this feature in Blender called cylinder projection. It looks like this. And I kind of just want to show you what it actually does. Oh, right, it's because we have this long stick that the cube project is all funky. I'm just going to do this here. Selection, there we go. So we're just dealing with this thing. So you can see the cube projection, the cylinder projection. I'm just selecting these faces here. Then I'm saying U. Then I'm saying cylinder projection. And you can see it kind of does something a little bit funny. But what you can do is that you can change the polar coordinates here, and you can say view on poles, and you can say align to object. And if you say align to object, you can see you actually get these straight lines, which is what we're after. Then we can reduce the size of the greeble a little bit. We're gonna do it something like that, and then you can kind of scale these guys so that the ratio comes back a little bit. And I think we'll scale it to maybe something like that for now. Maybe actually let's go 20. That's a little bit higher, but that's okay. So that's the one greeble patch there. Then we have the displacement. We'll wait with the displacement just a tiny bit. We'll just place it here for to keep in mind. Then we'll take the other greeble patch here. We also need to bring in the displacement, keeping that in the background there. And the same thing needs to happen to this thing. We'll just take this thing in here and say that, but maybe we'll actually create its own, bring in UVs like that. And then here we can adjust the scale for this thing. And it's gonna have a little bit of a less big scale, like that. Yeah, that seems fine. That kind of looks interesting, the way that is. And we could even be, we could even rotate this by 90 maybe. Oh right, that's around the Z axis. There we go, and then we're getting that instead. That's good. Maybe even put it down to 10. Yeah, then we're getting a little bit bigger plates. Then I'm gonna take a Voronoi texture, and then I'm gonna switch this to chip. I'm gonna take a ramp node, and then I'm gonna do this and set this to constant. And we're getting these kind of nice patches, which can be really useful for creating a little bit of quick randomness. If you, you know, for some reason your life depends on it, you just have to make a space station or everyone you love will get shot. Then you can do this, like so. And then we're going to use this as a mix for these two colors up here. And actually, I think I'm just going to plug one into one, and then I'm going to mix shader these two here, there, like that. And then we're getting the mix here. Come on. What am I doing wrong? Yes, yes, yeah. Oh, it's because there's no light. There we go. There's the sun. Set this to 5 for now. We get this here, and then we mix them together. Then we should get a little bit of variation here and there. Yeah, okay, so I kind of want to switch these two around. So I get that thing and that thing. Like so. And then hue saturation. Then I just want to decrease the value of this one a little bit, make this one a little bit darker. Maybe also remove some saturation. And then we're starting to get this kind of thing. That's good. And then I'm really saving the magic for the end here, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. There we have that separation. That's good. And then I just want to look at these things a tiny bit. I think we're gonna say that we want to use the roughness a little bit. So we're just gonna create a little color ramp here. Bring in this one. Linear. And then this thing is actually just gonna be quite bright like that. We're getting a little bit of variation there. Not a lot, but we don't need a lot. Something like that. Maybe punch it in. Yeah, they're just getting that kind of little bit of variation there. We can do exactly the same thing for this one down here. It's not immensely important how it feels that way. That's cool. Maybe a little bit of hue saturation on this one also. Could retain a little bit of color. Go over to this one here, maybe a little bit brighter. We're getting that thing, and I think the value can still come down here. So we're getting some depth there. Okay. Now comes the actual magic of the whole thing, and maybe the whole thing is just gonna look awful. But what we want to do is we want to displace this stuff here, but we don't really have the geo to displace. And when you want to displace a lot, then you don't really want to subdivide your geo. Actually, we just only want to subdivide when we are rendering. And in Blender, there's this feature that not a lot of people use, but some people use it. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it's under rendering, and under feature set, you can switch from supported to experimental. And I mean, this is really a feature that should not be under experimental. It should just be somewhere else and made stable. So far it is pretty stable. It just can be a little bit heavy to use. But what this does is that when you then add a subdivision surface modifier to something like this, and you make sure that it's at the bottom, so we're going to say pin to last, and we're going to unpin this smooth by angle, then you can turn on adaptive subdivision, and I'm going to set it to simple. And what adaptive subdivision is going to do is that it's going to actually subdivide your thing during the render. So this only works in cycles. You can see here it's subdividing the thing. Then we need to start doing something where we're actually subdividing, or we're actually displacing. So we're going to get this this thing here. We're going to plug in that thing there. These are the displacement maps we have. And they will also be mixed with this guy up here. So we're gonna take a mix shader. No, not mix shader, just a mix vector like that. Then this guy goes in there. And the other displacement, he also goes in there. Let's just do next track here. How do we? There we go. So now the this mix factor down here is blending between the two displacement maps. So you can see that if we're adjusting this one, it should. Oh, it's taking the the wrong one. There we go. There we go. So now it's mixing between them, so we can see that it's kind of mixing between the two displacement maps. So when we actually go out then to this thing here, then this thing should be allowed to start displacement, but first we have to go into the material settings, say settings, and then say we allow for displacement and bump. And then displacement, height, displacement, and it starts displacing. And this is without you knowing, this is the effect we want. It just looks like we don't have that much room to actually displace. But you can see as I turn on the subdivision with the adaptive subdivision, we're suddenly getting a lot of information here. So let's just start displacing things here. Looks like it's kind of going in a weird ass direction though. Why would that be? Oh, right. This thing is set to sRGB, that needs to be set to non-color. And so does the other one. Non-color. It's important with displacement maps to set it. And now you're starting to see the effect that we are looking for. And save. And this is the effect that we're looking for. And you can see we're not really getting exactly amazing displacement. Wait, why is it doing it like that? Is that because of... Right, set it to shade flat. It's very important how you shade it. I think this one needs shade flat here. Then it does the thing. So you can see it's actually not displacing it entirely how you want it. I wonder if we set this to cubic, if we're gonna get nicer interpolation. Cubic. No. It's just a little bit stepped. Probably that's just something with the render. Okay, so we're getting this slight displacement here. You can see if we go into render settings, then underneath subdivision, that's a new thing that pops up in experimental. You can set the quality. And if I increase the quality, you can see as we get closer, it's actually displacing more and more of the correct stuff. Shade smooth. Let's see what it does here. Shade flat. So if you set it to 1, it's basically going to displace everything exactly the way it should be. But you can see you're getting very, very nice. You can see how it's just like awesomely dense. And that is the power of the experimental feature with the adaptive subdivision thing. And then it's just, you're getting that detail. So let's reduce the byte here a little bit. Then just get it where we want to get it. Let's see here. I'm gonna reduce the quality a little bit of this one because it's a little bit too high. So it's a 4. That's pretty good. So you need to be a little bit careful with the with this thing because it can just eat your memory, especially your VRAM immediately. So let's see here. Then we have this guy here. And we have this guy there. I'm just gonna delete the. Actually, okay, let's take that there. And then we're saying, yeah, I want more plating. That's basically what I want. I'm gonna take all this stuff here and just reduce that stuff a little bit. And then what I like to do is that all the plating here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that's coming from here, that's going in here. I'm gonna take a math node, put it in here, and add 1 to it. So you can see then it starts popping out here. So we set this to 0.1 maybe, or something like that. And it's becoming like an outer shell. And then I also like to make it smaller, and I should do that before actually. Like here, and then I just make this a little bit less. Worth something, maybe like 0.5. And then I add to it. So it becomes this kind of outer layer, which is awesome. And then you can see I can just adjust like the shell a little bit with this kind of, with this texture here. And I just want a little bit of this stuff. I don't want too much. There, and that's kind of just giving it like that thing. And then if you just look at this thing here, then want this thing to be kind of bright-ish. Evening, Mara. Nice. That's great. I was missing a friendly Frenchman. Oh yeah. Okay. And then if we're doing this thing here, let's see here. We are doing like, what should we do here? Maybe something like that. That can feel good-ish. That can feel good-ish. And then I want a little bit more art directability here. What do I want to do here? I think I'm gonna reduce this a little bit, and then I kind of want to make it longer. And then, right, it could just be like this, and then I think I'll just make these guys a little bit longer. Yeah, that's a little bit nicer. Longer, longer, longer. And bigger. And longer, longer, longer. And maybe object. Yeah, something like this. Oh, okay, what's happening there? Yes, that's supposed to switch there, but then... Yeah. There. We're getting that texture there, that texture there. Looks correct. Looks correct. Okay. Maybe UV. And then just... Oh, that's also interesting. Then just a little bit of like that. Like, okay, I want that then there. And then I want to take these dark bits here, and I want to put them into a group, and the dark bits are on the bottom. So what do I do here? I want to, actually I'm just gonna duplicate this material. No, is that what I want? This is difficult. Okay, I'm gonna create some lights here. I'm gonna take this Voronoi texture, and then I'm gonna set that to Manhattan, and then, no, I'm gonna set it to Chip, I think, and then ramp. The plan tonight is to make a space station. Just for anyone who came a little bit late, then I'll show you. I made this thing recently that exists in here. Blend output, freighter. And can I play it with a different? I'll play with this one. So I made this like little space shot, and we're basically making something similar. So we made the planet at the beginning of the stream, and we made some of the greeble, and now we're gonna make a space station instead of the ship here. So that is kind of the plan, and we're slowly getting there. Constant, and I'm gonna set this one to not random, and then we're gonna invert it. We're gonna set this thing to object, like that. I'm going to use this to create a lot of windows. You see here we have all the little lights. Whoop. All the lights. And then we're gonna mix that with a bigger thing. So that's a little bit bigger, maybe like 5. Then lots of randomness. And then like back to this thing here. And then we could scale this one. So that's getting a little bit of horizontalness. Like that. Or should we do, oh, we should actually maybe do it the opposite way. Oh, maybe the horizontal thing is kind of, this looks kind of cool. I'm curious if that's what we should use for this thing here. We could try that actually. That, now that I'm seeing that, that actually looks kind of badass. Okay, let's see here. Like that. Like that. Like that there. And then we say something like that instead. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. There we go. And I kind of wish we could do the shade auto smooth. We could say shade smooth, and then we could cut this. I think if we release this one, well, you can't really selection like that. Yeah, there we go. That should be good. Then the displacement just behaves a little bit differently. Nice, that's what I want. Then we have this. And we're getting those stripes there. Then we have all these lights, and I want to mix these lights with some kind of similar thing to this. So actually we're not going to use this one. We're going to use this thing here instead and just create a different one a little bit higher like that. I'm going to multiply that with this one like there. Yeah, I would like to, what's here, Dakota's writing, what are you doing, like a giant cylinder space station, a pendulum shape? It's just a space station, just some kind of nothing super intelligent. And here we just have a little bit of lights, and that's all I want right now. I just want a tiny bit of lights, and then we're gonna get way more lights, but I wanna art direct it a little bit. So these lights here, they are kind of just going everywhere right now. So maybe I'm gonna set this to emission. I'm gonna say mix shader. Then I'm gonna say this guy here goes in there. And then here now, I can set 5. And you see we're starting to get some little lights here and there that are making the whole thing light up, which is awesome. And I actually want a tiny bit less light. Maybe I want even less light. Yeah, something like that. And then we're gonna art direct the thing, which I'll show you how. Okay, so now we basically have the setup. So this is our shader. Then I'm gonna create a new slot here. I'm gonna set this to station also. We're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna call it dark station. And then let's see here. We don't need we only need a little bit of stuff here. We only need the dark stuff, which is this stuff here. Dark stuff. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in a ring here, put another ring, and then I'm gonna assign this thing there. So now we're only getting the dark stuff, and we only want the stuff from the dark one. So we're just gonna put that directly into this, like that. And we only want this thing here. So we're gonna remove all of this stuff here, like that. And then we're only seeing that. What am I doing something wrong here? Yes, okay, that's good. I have a dark thing there going on. And then the cool thing is that I can then put in some dark patches where I want them to art direct the whole thing. But then here I'm going to include a lot more light. So here I'm actually going to oversaturate the light. So you can see that if I do that, then I should be getting... Oh, it's the wrong place I'm doing it. There we go. Ah, that means in the other one I was doing it wrong. Here we go. Because then I can now decide where I want a lot of light by just selecting stuff. Let's just take this space here and make it a little bit, not completely dark, just so we can see what's kind of going on. There we go. When it comes to art, do you take inspiration from some director of photography's work? I was listening to some interview of Greg Fraser the other day. It was pretty awesome. Oh, but you're talking to to Cora. Nice. Oh, that's great. Fancy seeing you here. It's just good, you know. These streams bringing people together in the vastness of space. Okay, so we got... Yeah, so now I can kind of art direct all the light here. So that's awesome. And that means I can... Let's see here, dark station, and then I can assign this, for example, there. I can go in here, and then I can assign this there. And then, yeah, I can just kind of get the light concentrated a more interesting place on this, on the station. And that's kind of the whole point. I think I want to decrease the amount of the spin factor here. Yeah, I think this thing is going to come down a little bit. There we go. Something along those lines. Okay. Let's just go back into this, because this is all we're really dealing with. And this one is also kind of on its own there. Can delete that face there, keeping everything somewhat separated. I can combine these guys together. Yeah, that's good. And then these guys can get a little bit of a solidify modifier, maybe. I think that can sometimes be nice. Then just decrease them a little bit. Then when I come in here, then they all look a little bit more nice. Then we got that thing here. And once this is set up, then you know you can kind of just come down and do this kind of stuff and just make it interesting in a different way. And all you have to do is just kind of UV unwrap this thing, and then you're getting your thing. Oh, I guess is this thing you know, and it doesn't look great right there, but we could make it great. I think actually that thing, the ring, kind of looks pretty awesome. Maybe that's kind of what we need to look into. And there's just a lot of ways of dealing with this kind of stuff here, but this is not bad. Just adding a little bit of decoration here, potentially. And this is a notch there, and that's fine. And we have this central cylinder. And yeah, I mean, then you just looked at it until oblivion. And then we have our little thing. Might be a little bit hefty on the kind of the way the bump behaves, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, let's say that this is good enough. I am gonna take all this stuff here and just put it into a collection called Station. And we could do so much more to it. We could add antennas, we could do all these things, but I think this is good enough. We're gonna instance this thing to scene. We have a station thing, so that means we can move this thing around easily. And we're gonna go out of solid mode here, and we're gonna go back to our scene with our planet. And here we need to turn on some things. We need to turn on experimental. We need to turn on, I'm gonna set this to 4. And then we can put in our space station. And what we're putting in is just the instance of our space station here. And then we gotta scale this boy down. I'm gonna probably scale it down quite significantly until we're getting something that we like looking at. Okay. Circle we don't need anymore, we can delete that. Then let's find a camera. And I think what I want to do is actually just film the space station and then move the planet into position. Whoop, there we go. There we are. Let's just zoom a little bit more in here. And then I want to do, and we're getting some nice natural bounce light up on the thing, which is awesome. Let's see here, camera. We could do 50 is fine, but let's do a little bit more perspective with this. And then we'll find some kind of angle that kind of shows us what we want. Maybe it's something where we're seeing, so the scale is not right now. We just, let's see here. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's try it going here. There. And here we have to work with the clipping distance of the camera a little bit. Probably have to bring this in and then set this to maybe like 10. What kind of shot do I? Maybe I'll rotate this a little bit. Something along these lines where it's just punching through the rim of the planet here. Maybe then I will, yeah, let's just say that that's fine. But then now we can really adjust the sun. Let's see what we can get here. And I think I'm just gonna reduce this thing to like 12 just to not subdivide as much. And then where do we have our thing? Our thing is there. Our sun is, where's our sun? Sun is there. Let's bring it up. Let's just look at the planet like this here. I'm thinking maybe it's something like that. We're getting our rim. Maybe I could set up another one here where I actually just see the shot constantly. And then I can start getting the sunset, if that's what I want. We see the sun moving about out there. That's pretty good. We were getting a more powerful sun. Maybe make the sun slightly orangey. That sometimes helps things. And then I'll take the world here and I'm gonna make it ever so slightly brighter, just so we can see what's happening over here. And the lights are not really popping through yet. We kind of need to wait render wise for those things to pop through. Okay, not too bad. Kind of have the basics going. I think maybe our atmos could use a little bit of work here. I think our atmos is a little bit too big. So we are gonna adjust that. Something more like that. Could use a little bit of bounce on the space station here. Could also make this one a little bit bigger. And then one could also be placed further away somewhere else to kind of get the scale. And this thing could probably also just come down a little bit. I think with the curvature of the planet, like this is just a little bit too much. It's like we're a little bit too close. I think I kind of want to be a little bit further away maybe. But maybe that's okay. Maybe just adjust the focal length. Then we just bring this closer to the thing. I could definitely use a little bit more bounce there, but then I'm not getting as much. Also, how high up is this thing right now? It's quite high up. Let's just see what we're getting here. Let's just see. Let's just see. I'm just waiting for this thing to give me the lights. And that's actually not too bad. Already getting a lot of stuff for free here. I think maybe it being such an overexposed shot, maybe, or with the lack of detail, like I think we can probably do some stuff where it'll be a little bit nicer to see. think I'll just creep this in a little bit just to get a bit more bounce light. And I'll bring it over to the left side here. A little bit. Just so we can see a little bit of the rim here. You see also this effect here on the ground, it's actually way too much. So I kind of want to get the fact that you can see all the terrain deformation. That's actually, it's too much. I'm gonna set it to 0.02. Yeah, that's gonna look a lot more realistic that way. And that's not what I want. I want a little bit of detail here, potentially. Yes, I'm just breaking it up a little bit with the noise here. To make everything a little bit more, have a little bit more detail. And that'll help out sometimes. Let's see here, maybe it's a little bit too much. Maybe I'll do it over here instead. Oh, we'll do it here. Yeah, it's getting that detail there. That's kind of what I was looking for. And I think the clouds can honestly have a little bit of a density boost. There. Then we could move them around to see what we want. I would say we're a little bit too close to the planet here. For the detail we have, I would increase the detail a little bit, but for now we'll just leave it. It's fine. But just as a note, this is something I would spend a little more time look dipping. I think the atmosphere we have that. Okay, cool. So so now we kind of got this, and we're starting to get this like space shot. And most of the times when you have shots like this, you don't really see the stars. It's simply too overexposed, so you don't really see the stars in space shots. You could put them in if you really wanted to, but I'm gonna leave it like this. And I'm just gonna jump out of this here, and then we have our little, where is our station? Also gonna take my Atmos and just make it viewport display. Ooh, where is it? Viewport display, wire. No, not wire. Bounce? Yeah, bounce is fine. Then we have our little space station here. There. Then 3D cursor in the middle. I'm gonna set this to around cursor. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. Around cursor. And then I'll duplicate this and just rotate it into view. So we're kind of seeing another one over there. And seeing another one maybe over there. One over there. And scale wise, you know, probably it's not right, but it's kind of what is gonna be fun about it. That you're actually seeing them curve away from you. Over there. Oh shit. Oh, I went away from the shot. Damn it. That was not the plan. Something like that. I need to not do this. There. Let's just see what that looks like. But the question is if they should be within the atmosphere or not, but I think I can cheat a little bit and make this one smaller. Maybe that's what I would do here now then. Those things out there. That's cool. Okay, so let's say you have a shot like this. You have your space shot and you're like, great, this is what I want to do. Then in terms of compositing, there's a few things you can do. I think on this one might be a little bit difficult because of the insane light we have on this one. So I might add, I kind of want to add some atmosphere around this thing here. That usually helps soften everything up a little bit, which it's not necessarily correct, it's just an aesthetic thing. There, oh, go back here. Where's the cube? There's the cube. So the cube is just a little volume I want to make around this thing here. And it's just going to help, so I'm going to call this volume. And principled volume, like that. Plug that into volume like so. And 0.01, and like that. I just turn the volume down on the music a little bit, or up. And yeah, so we have this volume, and that means that when we get in here, then this will, you know, we can see if we increase this to like this, then okay, yeah, then we start seeing it, but it can just help soften everything up a tiny bit, which can be a nice thing. It softens the light a little bit, maybe 0.1. Yeah, seems pretty good. That's nice. Okay, let's just pause this for a second, then we can go into compositing. Now we're actually gonna do what we need to do in terms of dealing with it. And the cool thing with like the newer versions of Blender is that you can do compositing that you can actually see in the viewport. But I do a couple of things. So the first thing I do is I add some kind of glare. And here I set it to bloom. And if we just go into this thing here, into layout, and then we go there and we say camera, then you can see what it actually does. So maybe I'll just open it here, then we can kind of see it. Camera wise, are we? Yeah, we're good. This is obviously a little bit too intense. So what I like to do is actually not so much mess with the threshold. I mess with the threshold a little bit, but I think the threshold is actually okay. What's mostly the problem is just the overall like mix into the image. So I think you just want a tiny bit, like you just want it to feel like that kind of just brings a little bit of life into the image. And that can be nice. And then we want a what I usually do then here. Then I sometimes I do a little bit of just like filmic correction. I like to take my blues and just lower them a little bit. And what happens there is that things just become a little bit more yellow. You can see if I pull this one down, everything becomes a little bit more yellow. And I've just noticed that a lot of film, and especially from space, the whites just tend to become a little bit yellow. So I like to artificially just do this a little bit for everything to become a little bit yellow. and it helps make things look a bit more soft. And then let's see here. What do I do? This thing's about like remembering what you actually do. I definitely use a lens distortion, and here I set it to fit, and I distort it a little bit, and you want to distort it so that it warps like this, not like that, but like this. And it's only just like a very little bit. And then I also set the dispersion. That's also something like that. And dispersion, that's just going to give you your chromatic aberration. You can see if I overdo it, then you're getting that. And it's like you get nice chromatic aberration on this thing here. So I'm going to set that up there. That's nice. Then, yeah, so then we get that going there. Then I have a few lens dirts that I've collected. Not very many, but just a couple. And I like to use those. I just want to see if I can find it here. There we go. Yeah, they kind of look like this, like that, and like this. And let's just use this one up here. I bring that into the image here. Then you can see it kind of sits like that. Usually you have to sometimes scale the image to fit. So I'll say scale, and I say to render size. And then I say fit. No, crop, sorry, crop. And then it fills out the entire image. And then what I do is that I put that after the lens distortion, because the lens distortion would also distort the lens dirt, I think. Right? That's how it works. Yeah, exactly. Because it actually sits on the lens. And then I take a mix here. And then so the simple way is you just put this in and then you just set it to screen or something and just see what that looks like, and then you just mess with this. I would say that's not really a great effect. What I like to do is take this kind of glare output. Actually, no, I take this kind of output here, a new glare node, and then I actually do the opposite. I kind of go a little bit ham on that kind of image there. Then I put that into the this thing here. Then we should be getting something that looks like what if we no, screen should be good, add could also be good. Add could also be good. Actually, let's do screen. Kind of only want it where they are. Yeah, like this. That's the effect I want. So I'm getting this kind of a thing happening. And then I can do that, boink. Take this thing here, set this thing to screen now. And then you plug in that thing in there. Oh, that thing in there. And then the lens dirt gets tinted a little bit, and you kind of have a little bit of control with like how you deal with this kind of stuff. And then you can also overblow it a little bit. I think it'd be kind of nice. It's just like a preference, but it gives it a slightly softer thing, and it skews the lens dirt towards some of the brighter areas a bit more. That's kind of cool. We could do a little bit of a nicer job on the atmosphere here. I feel like I'm not really getting the fall off that I want. definitely have gotten something a little bit more, a little bit softer. It's also just the size. Maybe the size is just a bit too much. Oh. Three, 5. 3, 3. 3, 2. And then just increase. Yeah. Looks a bit more reasonable. That's cool. And right now it says a 2100 by 900. And the render is set there. And yeah, then I think that's pretty much all this is kind of the basic version of what I do for, I think. Then I do anything else, it would be for messing with the we're working on, like, anything else I would do would be like specifically for that shot. But we're definitely getting something here. And I think I'll just pause this render here. I'll just press save. And then if we render it out, we should be getting something interesting. Let's see, what are our samples set to here? Our samples set to 256, that's okay. The thing is, when you're using this adaptive subdivision feature, when we're subdividing in the greeble, it can really eat your memory. And if you have a really powerful GPU, it should be fine. But if not, then maybe it's better to use CPU rendering. Just because your CPU has access to a lot more memory than your GPU. So just something to keep in mind. I'll try rendering this thing here, see what we get. The cool thing with adaptive subdivision is that basically it subdivides based on the distance to the camera. It doesn't just subdivide it like crazy. It kind of whoa, what's going on here? Something is definitely wrong. Is it okay, it's the diffuse pass, there we go. Okay, cool. And you can see once we're rendering it like this, it should actually subdivide and greeble everything more properly. And you could always bring this into Photoshop and continue doing it. Oh, there's actually one more thing that I do, which I was just reminded by all this noise. And that is the technique for doing some kind of grain. So the way I do grain is pretty simple. And that's the thing, you add that at the end after everything. I use a screen thing, like so. And then I use what did I use? Not a noise, a texture. And then I create a new texture over here. And the texture is going to be a noise, like this. That's going to be the texture. Like so. And it's not showing itself right now because it's rendering. So it's kind of preoccupied, so we'll just wait for the render to end. Oh, that's hilarious. Because of the, okay, we can see the render there, we can see the noise there. And then you can kind of just mix that in slightly. Oh, I see Paul is in the chat. That's awesome because Mara has been here, Cora's been here, and guess who else is here? Wait, I need to go switch to the thing. Scene cam. There we go. While we're waiting for the render, Mr. Sword is here. Let's see here. So, this is very important. I already said this during the stream now, that the sword has been gifted to me by Paul, and the very man who gifted me the sword is in the thing. So that's Angry People Studios. Sword Master Will, exactly. I got the sword as a birthday present from Paul. I did not wish for a sword. And it was very funny because like when I unpacked the sword, I had zero clue. I was completely oblivious. Then it was like this. It was facing this way, like upwards. And my first instinct, as soon as I saw the tip of the thing, was it's a barbell. 100% it's a barbell or something. Like that was just that's what I thought it was. And then I looked further into the package. I was like, there's leather on it. It's a fucking sword. You know, so I was completely flabbergasted, and I pretty much just been hanging out with the sword for a couple of days now, ever since I got it, and I'm insanely grateful to Paul. So big love and massive kisses. I don't know how I will ever repay him. Like I don't know, I'll repay him by giving him a more expensive sword or something. Or actually, what would he like? I think Paul would probably rather have. But also the thing is, like, you want to buy something for him that he wouldn't buy for himself, but that he also wants. I mean, I would buy, if I had infinite money, I would definitely buy a lot of swords. But let's just see here. Still waiting for the render a tiny bit. And then like I could buy him pots and pans, but he would definitely buy that for himself. Or would he not buy it for himself? I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. It'll be something awesome. Oh, I know, a shield. It's the shield. But I thought at first it was a barbell, which is funny because then walking home from training the other day, just on the street, next to some trash, somebody has just thrown out a lot of training equipment, like weights and barbells, and we grabbed all of it in a wagon and went home with it. So now we actually have a barbell. That happened yesterday. That was awesome. So I have a sword and a barbell. I'm basically a full man. Get Paul a cape. Get Paul a morning star. No way. A morning star. I can get a good night star. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this thing here. And we should have rendered out a composite. Let me just. No! And it crashed. Of course it crashed. I hope Schultz is watching. Oh yeah. 2217. Well, that's the best we got. Is it why didn't I save before I rendered? What are we missing here? Okay, so we just need to do the oh right, I thought we don't have the render. That's annoying. Screen. At least we saved. Imagine if we hadn't saved. Holy smokes. That'd have been awful. Luckily I always save. I never save. But that's why I need Schultz here. That's why I need Schultz here. It's very important. We're gonna do the texture thing, new texture, set this to noise, like that. And then you're getting this kind of thing. And then you can overlay this thing with the other thing. Something like that, that's good. Then we go back to layout. And you can see a nice grain. So what we need here is actually, I'm just gonna save. It's actually just a tiny bit of grain. There we go. You can see it looks quite natural. Like it can look quite good. A little bit of film grain right there on top of everything. We lowered this thing here. That's awesome. So that's how we do film grain. There's lens distortion is there. All this stuff just kind of works. And then we're gonna pause this thing, save it, and we're gonna do a render again. That was a little bit sad, but you know what? We're gonna lower the sample count here. Sampling 128, and just render it. Mara would believe that Paul had made the sword himself. No way. I mean, listen, I believe Paul can do it, but I don't know. I just don't think. I've seen Paul burn himself in the kitchen many times, and Paul is a good cook, but I just feel like he would burn his hand off if he had to like make the sword, and he would insist on like sharpening it, and that would just take a year. No, I mean, it would not take a year. I mean, I think it'd be great if you had to do it with just the tools you have at home and just like not really having proper forging tools. That's what I want next time, Paul. Like, whatever sword you can make in the kitchen. And if you're just gonna take a knife and just write sword on it, that doesn't count. Like, that would not work. Every time you sing Pumpkin Hill, my brain automatically turns it into No, come on. It wouldn't be the first. Oh, that's true. You made some samurai swords, right? And was it katanas? You're making some katanas? It wouldn't come out with two hands. No, that's true. I mean, listen, I would give up Paul's two hands for me to have a sword. I think that's definitely. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I'm willing to have a friend with no hands. But then again, mostly I use Paul for cooking. Actually, no, that I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want a friend. I wouldn't want Paul without hands. That's just that wouldn't be good for me. That would be a huge downside for me. See, really, just a selfless thought right there. Really good. You're quoting Shrek without realizing it, dude. What is how am I who's quoting Shrek? Is it Paul quoting Shrek? I didn't say it come out of it two hands. It would be the first good sword. Well, I sharpened a slab of shitty steel. I'm guessing it's the. Would you rather Paul without arms or Paul without legs? Paul without legs. Yeah, no, definitely, because then he could still cook. Which is more dangerous? I don't know. I feel like there has been times when I've had Paul's feet in my face, because we kind of been lying on a couch and then he's just like shoving your feet in my face, more so than his hands. So I actually think Paul without legs is a better Paul than the current Paul. And I really need some like disabled people in my friend group. So I think Paul without legs is a lot better. And how are we on the render? The render's there. It's not amazing, but you need a little bit more time to make it things. But you basically have all the elements here, and that's the stuff that you need to play with to make the space shots. So I hope that was enjoyable to everyone. This is a weird convo. Yeah, that's just like, when some people can just completely derail the conversation. Your space station's giving Coke can in a good way. 100%. Like, I'm getting thirsty watching that space station. I think actually this is the future where Coca-Cola has truly started dominating the world, and these are massive Coke cans. Like, actually, let's just make them red. I think it's the only way. Okay, how do I do this while holding the sword? The amount of stuff that I've already hit with the sword is just not okay. Oh, right. Then we have to actually go back and do. So maybe we'll do. Actually, I have to go over here. Go to station. Look at the station, like so. And we go in here, ball up. Station like that. And let's make it a massive Coca-Cola thing. Mix. Color. What shade are we on? Yeah. Is this the right one? Oh yeah. Oh, that's a little bit too intense. It's kind of Coca-Cola red, right? A little bit of metallicness. For the Coca-Cola vibe. They've made those bits white. There, also metallic. And there, also metallic. Also looks kind of Christmassy, but that's fine. Control S and go back to planet. And why is this thing not updating? This thing needs to update now. Huh. But it's in the thing. So it needs to update, my friend. Yeah, exactly. That's good. Okay. Then I guess we'll just copy it. Bring it over to the planet. Yep. Oi, it's gonna be a massive Coke can. Oh yeah, select the cursor. There we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we're doing this here. And perfect. Just gotta hide this other thing. There we are. There we are. Now it's giving Coca-Cola vibes. It should obviously have been a Hindbad boost, that is true. For those of you who don't know, the Hindbad boost is the official drink of the stream, not the sponsor. That would be great though. One day we'll get them to be a sponsor, but like, hello, I have this stream where like 13 people watch sometimes, and I sometimes drink Hindbad boost. Do you want to sponsor it? I'm thinking 100,000 crowns. That'd be great. Save before it crashes. Too late. There we go. Okay. I take that deal. Well, I'm offering you the deal. Angry Pupil Studios. You have the same colors as the Coke can. If you want to sponsor this thing, it's 100,000 crowns. Okay, you know what? I'll subtract whatever the price of the sword was from the sponsorship. And then we have a deal. That's just how that goes. This got on. Oh my god. That was loud. Angry Coke sounds insane. I would buy it and drink it. Hey, Cora, what time is it over in Viborg? This is a different time zone. Honestly, it does feel like a different time zone. When you're up there, you're like, you know, you're up there and years don't pass, but then you go anywhere else and years have passed. What the hell? It's so weird. Hella late. Damn, okay. It's really early here. It's like morning in Copenhagen. Yeah, that's how it works. I don't know if I can go outside with the sword. You know, I think you're just not allowed to do that. I can't wait to bring it to Copenhagen and just stand with the sword, like cheering on some kind of crowd or some kind of band with the sword. Just being like, yeah. It's the ultimate thing you can do. I've also been trying to use it as cane. Let's just say that the floor doesn't like it, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay. It's January here, but also November 1st. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Oh yeah. This music is tearing my ears off. There we go. So yeah, so that was the space thing. I think as a cane we were able to. Lol. It doesn't count as a bladed weapon under Danish law. I'm pretty sure they're gonna take it away from me when I start trying to decapitate someone. Be like, me, start cutting well enough. It's Paul's sword. He bought it for me. Oh, I guess that is mine. I don't think you need the. You don't really need a sharp sword for it to do a lot of damage. I just think it would freak people out. I think, I have a weight vest that really looks like a bomb belt. And with my complexion, then I could easily look like your stereotypical airport terrorist or whatever the fuck, whoever. I'm just saying that, like, I always get dragged in for inspection, and which is fine, rather me than someone else. But if I wear the bomb belt, or the weight vest, which just looks like a bomb belt, and the sword, I think somehow they will cancel each other out. That's my dream, would be like, okay, that's obviously just a joke. But just holding either the bomb belt is like, okay, I don't trust that guy, or just the sword is like, okay, something's wrong there. He's gonna go and I just think I have that look. Lads, come to Viborg for the weekend. Come on. But it's the weekend. It's like a big. I just been there. I'd rather cut my legs off with Will's edgeless sword than go to Viborg. Exactly. And we would be getting that superior Paul that we've always been wanting. Like going into a shop with a ski mask on, they wouldn't even notice the knife. I love that. I was like, I prefer Paul. I would prefer Paul with no legs, and now it's just become we as a society, as a collective, prefer you without legs. You might as well just make the sacrifice. And okay, and also if you can't commit to cutting your legs off, at least pretend like you don't have legs. The next time I see you, I want to see you dragging yourself into the room. I don't want to see any of this walking. I'm tired of it. I need it to go away. Like I don't like that you're walking. I think it's disturbing. It makes me vomit. And I'm saying that with as much love as humanly possible. An unlegged Paul would fit the Børsen vibe, though. What? Oh, a Børsen as in there's a værtshus or a bar in Viborg, which is a town in northern Denmark that has that is the area people go to, and it's not the place that burned down. Just I was like, wow, okay, it's like Paul with no legs reminds us of buildings burned down. I'd save so much money on shoes, 100 kroner a year. Yeah. Calling it a bar is generous. Alright, fine. There's a hole in the wall called Børsen. And you can, yeah. And Paul, you'd still have to do the stairs, even with no legs. you would not get out of that one. And that's the. I don't really like that. Is true. I can confirm that Paul does not like wearing pants. Lieutenant Dan? What the hell is that? Oh. Damn, this is a longer stream. I feel like we accomplished something, but also somehow we didn't. I mean, the only thing I got out of this is that basically Paul needs to cut off his legs. It's nice if the chat has a target, just a specific target, and everyone is like laughing, or not laughing, but making sure that, like, yes, that is the enemy. Oh, right, that's true. Yeah, Forrest Gump. I saw this, I've seen so many, like, these random AI generated ads. I saw an AI generated ad for, was it for Forrest Gump 2? And I was like, what? Are they making Forrest Gump 2? Like, I think this is fucking fake. But then apparently it's real or something. Yeah, I think it's real. And I'm like, Forrest Gump 2? What? And there's a trailer for it or something. And it's fake. Or I think it's hella fake. Yeah. Yeah, this is hella fake. And nah, it's just fake. It's like, that would be the worst fucking idea. Be like, oh, he's grown up, he's a child. And the child is played by Timothy Chalamet. Legs equals no stream. No laughing, pointing in ridicule and derision. Exactly. What I love is that, like, I'm looking at the current viewers, and it's constantly switching between 13 and 14 people. And I'm just imagining that there is actually 13 people watching this. But then once in a while, somebody comes in and it's like, what is this conversation about? Or they talk about somebody who should cut off their legs. I'm going to leave. But right now, it's steadily at 14. So somebody has stayed for this conversation, like, wow, this is, I'm getting into this. Okay, this is a really good way of, like, keeping your viewers around in the stream. Okay, everyone watching, I challenge you to who can stay for the longest watching the stream. And somebody just left. The one staying inside. There's some people staying in silence who are kind of just keeping this on the side monitor. I just watched something. What the hell did I just watch? Arcane season 2. No, I just watched one episode. It's like, will wishes we watched in silence. Suffering in silence. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see what else we have here. So this scene is done. We did well. We did a good job. Let's see what we got going on here. We have a tank that we looked at before, and that's pretty fun. Whoa, that's moving around. This is, when you're just really bored, and then you're like, yeah, let's make some tanks. And that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is animation. Look at this animation. It's because, the people in the chat who are being really chatty, they're all animators. No surprise there. And they're like really impressed with any animation. That's how it works. They just see something move and they're like, wow. It's just totally has character now. Like, this is a tank with hopes and dreams. Actually, I have a little bit more funly animated tank somewhere that has a little bit of personality. This one actually has a little bit of personality. Whoop. Tank. No. Tank 2. This one actually, this has a tiny bit of personality. Look at this. Ignore those. There we go. See? That's just a cute tank. And normally tanks are not supposed to be cute, but this one's totally cute. You know? It's like it's a friendly tank. Like hello, I'm ahead. You know, whoop, whoop. Yeah, there we go. It's a little tank there. You see? Animators. Have you seen Polyfield's creatures that he makes and rigs? They're so awesome. No, I have not. And this is, my friend, is why you took the CG course. Wow, are you just dissing my animation? Animation. You know, the problem is that if you're from Denmark, right, then there's a very high likelihood that you're going to get a really Danish accent. And if you get a really Danish accent, then everything you say just becomes immensely funny. Especially when you say animation. Animation. This right there is a tank. Also in Danish we call it a kampvogn. And a kampvogn, or a tank, has a nice set of tracks right there. And it uses that to drive. And then it has a little head where it kind of looks around. And then it shoots anyone who we don't want here, like Swedish people and immigrants. And that's just what it's like being Danish. Now you sound like Paul. Oh. Here in Denmark, we do this animation. And we actually have a fancy school up in northern Denmark called Viborg. The school is not called Viborg. That's just what the town is called, but the school is called the Animation Workshop. And there you can literally do anything you want. You can, especially animation. And a lot of people, they go there, and we have some really cool, crazy projects happening on a daily basis. And just a lot of students having fun. Also some students not having all the time fun, but otherwise they're doing really, really well. At least people understand you. Still sounds like a billion times better than we do back in France. No, at least Morten Thorning voice. That's really funny. Like I was watching this series. There's a series called Expanse. It's a sci-fi show. I really like the show, actually. It's a great show. And there's this character called the character's called Claes Ashford, and he's just really looks like Morten Thorning and really behaves like Morten Thorning, which I just think is really funny. It's just, but he has a very different accent, but his accent is kind of like a weird sci-fi Dutch. So it's kind of like, drama, welcome to Medina Station. And but he's very Morten Thorning like. It's just kind of interesting. Really, very. That's strange. It's like, oh, there's a sci-fi Morten Thorning out there. Viewers left. Why would viewers leave? I mean, actually, they should just stay around for the show. What else do we have? Do we have anything interesting? Maybe I have some cool things in Photoshop open. I have this open. What else do I have? Maybe some secret stuff. A lot of projects. I kind of want to finish this. I think that could be pretty fun. It's not animation. It's drawing. So that's pretty good. Oh, I just showed this and I got a bunch of viewers. Wow, well. Save my files? No. No. I don't save anything. Drawing. Save your files. I don't know what the fuck. Schultz is just having a heart attack over there. It's just like with his fingers just like glued to the Control S, and then some kind of electric shock impulse attached to his arm. So there's every 2 seconds it just has control this. He's literally dying. He's like, I mean, at this point he can't pull out his own hair anymore. Like he needs to find somebody else to pull out somebody else's hair because it's too much. I don't know. As I remember, Schultz, you have a decent amount of hair in your face also, right? You have a beard. Let's see here. Do we have anything interesting? See, these are some old creatures that we did during the stream. Did we do all these during the stream? I don't know. But it's a nice little flashback. This bird is great. I love this bird. I love these wings and the patterns here. This is actually awesome. This one, look at this guy. Like this is the adult thing, and it's like, what? But then the little guy. Look at the little guy. This is where animators, they go, oh my god, how do I get to animate? I can just really see it moving and the way it would have life. I would just love to spend 3 months making the foot move ever so slightly, and then when it gets to exactly the right, then oh my god, then I will feel accomplished in life. You can't deal with the fake accent. I mean, you totally know that the fake accent is just exactly what people sound like, and it's basically Danish people who are a little bit too excited to talk. Then they sound like this. This is like a guy. This is the worst guy ever. This guy is awesome. I love this guy. Look at the. I love that. That's just awesome. This is a dragon. Here we have some guy who's a little bit punk. And we have this cool reef snatcher right here. The most important thing is that it's me. Oh yeah, the most important thing is that it's me. This one was pretty cool. We did this during stream also. And then yeah. Greater trap jaw. It's a fucking weird chicken dragon. I kind of like this dragon. It's like, hello. I have so much stuff that I just like lying around that I never published or finished. It's just out there. Oh, we're doing this stuff. That was also pretty fun. I mean, there's some not too bad creatures here. There's like that round guy. This jellyfish, this fish thing, this thing, that guy is pretty cool. I mean, that's barely anything. But I mean, that's all you need. Space look. Troll. What do I have here? Just like drapery study, paintings, mech sketch. There's some things here and there. This is kind of like when I'm relaxing, then you get to do this kind of stuff, which is pretty good. That is some good stuff. Look at that guy. He's just all she's all weird. There we go. Okay, I think I think we maybe should bring the stream to an end, even though we do have an absolutely amazing crowd on the stream tonight. It's pretty awesome. But we're gonna end the stream here, I think. I very happy finally. We're gonna end the stream here, and I appreciate everyone joining. I appreciate everyone watching. I hope that it was enjoyable, and if it wasn't too bad, it'll only get worse from here. But hopefully we can stream again sometime next week or something. Probably more likely that it will be Wednesdays, not Thursdays. That's just how things are sometimes. Thanks for now, everyone, and see you in the